What's up, everybody?
Welcome to Fireside.
Talks.
I'm Jake.
I'm Thad. And this is Fireside Talks.
This is Fireside
Talks.
Talks.
My God. Okay, so do we want to do ads?
Yeah, go to www.audibletrial.com /Fireside Talks.
/Fireside Talks. And you get a free ebook. A free ebook.
Audiobook.
Audiobook. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You don't get an ebook.
No.
You get an audiobook.
It's totally different.
And you, instead of reading the book, you just listen to it, which is fucking awesome.
Which I would like to say that listening to it is actually a really great thing to do. Because what I like to do is I like to do yoga on the side and just like play that in the background. So like if, you can do it while you're driving. You can do it like if you like to work out, if you like to do anything else.
It's just like this, but it's a book and you're processing it at the same time. Like I've been listening to Food of the Gods with Terrence McKenna, and I just lay down, I listen to it, and I process it, and it's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice. Nice
and
relaxing.
All that is yours at audibletrial.com /Fireside Talks. Get on it. We get a little kickback from it, so
helps us with the
studio. You'll help out the studio and help out our families get food to eat for dinner.
Because who doesn't like food to eat?
We're also on Facebook, Twitter. Don't add me on Snapchat, so don't do that.
We've given up on that.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm tired of accepting.
Tonight we have two guests at the same time.
Twins.
Hello.
Jacob and Caleb Hogan.
Not sure if you guys know us, but we're kind of stupid.
No, I don't think so.
Like kind of stupid?
Like, you know how people like to stick forks in outlets and they die that way because they're stupid?
Yeah.
I go with a butter knife because it's a different kind of stupid.
It fits
and
better in there.
It doesn't kill you, it just gives you a nice buzz.
You're right.
See, I'm the level of stupid where, like, I avoid showering for months at a time because I realize that tubs are just reverse boats, and that just doesn't settle well with me.
This is true. Do you guys want to say who you are so the viewers know which one's which?
I'm Tweedledee.
I'm Tweedledum.
Oh, jeez.
See, a lot of people call us that, but my dad just calls me a disappointment. It's really crazy.
Okay.
Men of many nicknames.
Yep. So that's how this is going to go.
I like it already.
Yeah. Well, I'm really disappointed because before the show, we were all talking, and they told me
what we do before the show.
I was just going to say about how I thought I was going to do the introduction with my radio voice, and that didn't happen. Never came to fruition. And
Thank God for that, though. You kind of suck with it.
I mean,
it's not like a booming radio cast, like he's going to be the next voice of the generation. He's just trying to do some kind of stupid mock Rocky 104.9 thing.
Oh, but it works. It works too. Do you guys want to hear it?
Yes. Please.
Yeah. I need to hear a round of applause for me to hear it.
Giving you a round of applause.
Well, then.
It's a radio show, dude.
All right. Fine. Thank you.
What the hell is going on?
Go do it.
Well, welcome back to Rocky 104.9, rocking you with the blues. And you guys could have been introed like that.
I was hoping it was like, welcome back to
Zoop, zoop, zoop. Welcome back to Fireside Talks.
Party. Weird noises out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how to get it. Yeah, I wanted a donkey screech, but I couldn't get that.
We need pyrotechnics in here. Like,
that would be
it's totally a safe
off.
room.
I'll come in here with a sparkler if I have to. I'll be damned.
There's one up on the wall if you want to light
that
it.
That's a bottle rocket.
Sweet.
Let's light it already. This is a small enough room. I think we're gonna have fun.
It's a huge bottle rocket.
Oh man,
All right.
that reminds me of whenever we threw a few live fireworks into a campfire once. Again, that level of stupid.
Yeah. We're not exactly the brightest bulb in the crayon box, but we think it gets the job
That's where
done.
you get bulbs from.
Actually, you know what? That's the unfortunate thing about this show, is that you brought on people to talk about politics, talk about the future of gaming, and like new massage things, and we're just coming here and telling you some of the dumbest stuff. Like whenever we're done with you, the audience is gonna have like 5 less IQ points. I guarantee it.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Because then they'll go to audibletrial.com /Fireside Talks.
And then they'll gain those IQ points immediately back.
Yeah.
By the way,
And
everyone, the only way to combat the IQ points you lose is by going to audible.com and using the free
audibletrial.com.
audibletrial.com
Yeah.
and getting the free ebook that you can get with Fireside Talks.
Yes.
All right, so before we get into all this, whatever you guys want to talk about,
What's going on here?
Jacob, what is your major and where do you go to school?
I dropped out of school
Oh,
because I went in for education, and I love, like, as far as I can remember, I was always, from like 7th grade onward, I was usually the one teaching the kids that had trouble kind of learning, and I just always liked that, and I liked helping people out. So I either wanted to be an engineer or a teacher. Once I learned how much I hated engineering, I decided that I was going to pursue being a teacher because I wanted to help teach kids how much they actually matter in life and how much good they can actually do, even if they feel like it's insignificant. But I also wanted to change how we teach, and I couldn't stand how college professors would teach, because at college you kind of feel like a faceless kind of person in the crowd, and you don't really feel like you're actually there to learn. You feel like you're more of a paycheck, and I couldn't stand that. That's what I wanted to change. And college was really easy. I went into rhetoric and comp for English, which is supposed to be a hard class. I only showed up once every 2 weeks, passing with an 85 until she started giving out homework. Then my grade dropped. And almost every class I had, I would skip out and only go to once or twice every week or so because I just couldn't stand it. So finally, I got fed up with it, and I dropped out. I decided I'm just going to focus on what I want to do, because I was so consumed with the thought of I have to go to college to succeed that I never really thought about myself. So I'm taking time off to actually wait until I want to go to college, and it's not myself or society pressuring me to go to college to succeed.
Yeah, well, I think the K through 12 education is just such a big waste of time. Like, that's the time where we should be figuring out who we are and everything, but it's all just, here's a test, cram for it, here's some homework, do it. You know, it's never figure out what you like, and they don't show us different things to...
Well, that's the thing. It's not even, like, the entire system that we have for education here, it's all based on tradition. Like, it's just the way, like, they're like, oh, we taught that way 50 years ago. It worked well for us then. But we're not actually trying to do any research on how to properly educate kids, and we're not really letting kids be themselves. I mean, they always preach, be who you are, but the minute you try stepping out of what they tell you to do, you're just called a distraction, sent down to the principal. You have to reform yourself for them. You can't be yourself and try to change the world.
That's the thing I learned when I went to college, too. Like, all of my English classes, all the essays were very structured, and you have to do bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. And then you get to college, and it's just like, write this paper. And then you write it, and they're like, wow, that's everything I wanted. And I'm like, what? You didn't have anything on the rubric for what you wanted? And they're like, well, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, like, throughout every time I have free time, I find myself wondering how I want to teach kids, because I still want to teach. I'm just having... Yeah, sorry. But I still want to teach kids. I'm just... The hurdles to get there are just right now hurdles I can't pass because of in a way, high school screwed me over because I never had to study once. I never really had to do anything. And then in college, you actually need to study. They actually do push you. But I wanted to be an English teacher because you can read books different ways and you can teach them different ways. Whereas if you're doing mathematics, geometry, or science, there's one or just a couple different ways to teach it. But English is more abstract, and you can kind of have the kids fill their own shoes. And rather than telling them what to do, you can have them discover what they want to do or who they are.
You can make words your own. You can't make a math equation your own, per se.
Well, that was what I always kind of like disliked about college, or about like high school English classes, is they would have us read this book, and then they'd have you like fill out a questionnaire on the book, and then like have you
study guide.
Yeah, study guide questions, and then it wasn't like your analysis of the book. They were like taking some college professor's analysis of the book and then calling that the true analysis of the book. When in reality, there's pretty much any sort of analysis that you can make of that book. It just
if it even had a proper analysis. I mean, like, a lot of the study guides that they had, it wasn't even saying, like, what did this scene mean to you, or what did it make you feel? It was always, oh, what shirt was that boy wearing whenever he called
like
that
what
girl
color
this?
tree was it in chapter 6?
Yeah, like
I didn't even, I probably fully read like 3 books all throughout my schooling career, because the other stuff you could just skim and
I'd
find
say
the
that
proper
too.
information.
Yeah. One of the things is when you're a teacher, at least at the Altoona High School District, you need at least 10 graded papers, and they never really tell you how you get those grades. So I always wanted my benchmarks or my quote-unquote essays just to be them either pick their own book or a book that they were forced to read, because you have to make them read books, and they just have to say what they thought about it. Or if they could change something about it, what would they change? How did they want it to go?
Mm-hmm.
And nothing about forcing them to think something, which a lot of the it's kind of what everything is geared towards. Because when we're like, you guys remember reading Macbeth?
Yes.
And how you always had to say about what was, you had to talk about what his bane was, about how his hubris was the reason why he fell, and nothing else. I don't want that. I want them to say either what they think they would do in his situation, or for them to say what they think the real problem was. Because a witch's curse can only go so far,
Yeah.
but a man's mind is boundless.
That's very
Yeah,
true.
I think another thing is with these books, when we're doing like the study guide questions and everything, we miss the whole point, like the main idea and everything. Because I didn't really start connecting with the whole main idea until probably about 11th grade. Because I don't know if you guys remember, like 8th grade, we always had to do like climax and resolution. Yeah. We would always do those fucking charts that mean literally nothing. But
yeah,
so I didn't catch on to the main points. I was always looking for like the climax and stuff.
Well, again, it's all about the book. It's all about the superficial stuff. That's what they want you to look over. And if there's any in-depth meaning, it's not what you put to it, what meaning you have. It's always what the author said or what some critic said. I mean, even whenever you think about Lord of the Flies, we went based off what the author said. He said that that island was a microcosm for the earth and that all people are savages at heart. But could that also be interpreted as maybe the way that we almost have a mob mentality whenever it comes to society? Whenever you enforce certain structures, we follow suit.
Different interpretations.
No, but seriously, I want to fuck a pig.
Okay.
Yeah, but like for example, the way how they like structure it. When if you read like a book like Animal Farm, they just want you to like read it as it is, as like a work of fiction, instead of actually analyzing it as the big metaphor that it actually is representing.
Yeah.
And the fact that like Napoleon is actually supposed to represent Stalin, and that Snowball is supposed to represent Lenin.
Well, the astounding thing to me is, I was talking to a librarian, and she thought. She was kind of close to the mark. She thought it was a metaphor for World War II and not the Russian Revolution, which just kind of shows. She was forced to read in high school, but it just shows how much they don't cover and how much there still is to cover in the educational system and how it could be ruining.
Well, they cover like American stuff, and that's about it. That's why.
Yeah, well, it's really hard, I guess, in public school because it's such a short amount of time, but it's so many kids, and it's so many kids that we didn't really get into like levels until we got to like junior high, and even that you still have a bunch of people who are on different levels. Like, there were still people in honors classes who shouldn't have been in honors classes. I mean,
and there were people in academic who should have been in higher levels, and people below or in the level 2 and level 1 classes who should have been in higher levels as well.
Actually, I was in level 2 almost my entire school career. I only ever took one level 3 class, and that was because they asked me to go up to level 3 several times, and I remember my one teacher, Miss Fuller, said if she could, she wanted me to go to AP English because of structure of writing and stuff. But in my experience in the level 3 class, we would get an essay, and the rubric would literally tell you what you had to put in every paragraph, how it had to flow.
Yeah.
And the only thing you did was just type the words. You never made it your own thing.
Yeah.
And
you just chose the words.
Because
I couldn't handle that.
Level 3 was easier than the level 2 classes I had, because like the level 2 classes, they give you a prompt, but they wouldn't be so specific about it, so then you can actually think a little bit. But the level 3 classes I had listed everything you had to do. It told you how to get from A to B and C to D. All you had to do was just follow in the bullshit.
I think is leading to this giant problem, like you dropping out, so many other people dropping out. We don't get the self-discovery in high school. We don't get a chance to be ourselves. I mean, it sounds so stupid and fucking, but and then we get to college and it's just do what you want, pick what you want. And we're like, fuck, I don't even know who I am, I didn't...
You've been told what to do your entire
academic
career.
That's what it was, the education system. If you're different, you're a distraction. But if you just go with the flow, if you become a part of the mainstream, if you just completely subjugate yourself and you don't actually be an individual, that's how you succeed in school. I mean, I got good grades all the time. I never got in trouble or anything. But I never talked. I never was actually...
Yeah, same.
I was always just in the background. I mean, I had as much personality as this table.
Let it go on record that he was in fact had 3 days in school for ball tapping a kid so hard that he vomited profusely. So take what he says with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen.
I had a little fight in me, no doubt.
Why did you ball tap him?
Oh man, all right, hold on. We got some real good stories here.
Sounds good to me.
But what happened was what was it? 7th grade, Bub?
Yeah, 7th grade.
7th grade. Me, Bub, Mark, Jared, and I think someone else. All just...
Who is Bub?
This guy's Bub.
Oh, okay.
Let me set up the scene. My brother Caleb and I, Jake speaking, we are twins, and we had our own language until we went to elementary school, and we were forced to learn English to talk with other kids. The only word I remember is begee. I think it meant here, but it left us with a speech impediment because we never used R's. So we would always say ours and stuff like that. And we used to call each other Bub until I had to start learning English. So then I had to start calling him Caleb, but because of my speech impediment, I called him Taeb. And it's stuck ever since.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah, so when Caleb says Bub, he's talking about Jake. When Jake says Taeb, he's talking about Caleb. Now let's continue on with the story.
Wait, no, I want to go in depth about the whole language thing.
You guys had your own language?
Yeah. Oh, dude, actually,
that's fascinating.
My parents were so scared about that because, like, we understood English. So, like, Mom would be like, "Oh, here, go grab this," and then I'd go over to Bub and I'd just be like, "Yaddy walkie bagee yabba dabba dabba," and then he'd go and do something, come back, and then we'd hand it to her.
Yeah,
Did you sit down during the day and study it, or
no,
you just picked up on it?
We just talked, dude.
You started talking to each other as like babies, right?
Yeah.
And then you just start. That's incredible.
What it was because we were twins and we were together all the time.
Yeah.
We, in a way, kind of shut ourselves off from the other world, from the outside world, because we had each other.
People always seek friends, in school, but we were by each other, so we're like, fuck it, we're gonna talk.
But one of the only times I remember is I had to translate what Taeb wanted to eat, and like he wanted pizza or something, and I had to be there because my sister didn't know the language. No one besides me and Taeb knew the language, so anytime Sis would ask him a question, he'd answer in our language, and I had to tell her what he wanted. And then we just kind of did that for a little bit, and we translate for each other for other people, and we just never really talked to anyone because we had our own language and no one else spoke it.
Actually, it was kind of funny. Like he said, we had a speech impediment from it, and people would always see us with Mom and Dad whenever we were starting to learn English, and they'd come up and be like, "Oh, are these boys German? Are they from Austria?" Some chick was like, "Oh, I think they're Russian. Oh, look at this."
Yeah, they were always being asked where they adopted us from.
What grade, so kindergarten, you had to start learning English?
We had to.
You had to?
Well, yeah, basically.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, well, we already knew.
Just write things in your own language.
Yeah, we knew English. We just didn't speak it a whole lot.
You spoke your own language most of the time.
But we actually had to go see the doctor about it, and he was like, "Nah, they'll be fine. Just put them around a bunch of kids, and then they'll probably start talking English."
By the way, guys, we started speaking English. If no one caught on to that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be weird if someone thought you were speaking it for. Yeah, you probably shouldn't watch the rest of the show if you can't understand.
Yeah. That was wild. That's wild.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad time. I also remember no one else ever comprehended my genius because when I was learning basic math in kindergarten, anytime they said 7 minus 7 equals 0, right? 0 is nothing. So I wouldn't answer it. I'd leave it blank because 0 meant nothing. And I'd always miss the question, and I was so confused because it was nothing.
That's lovely.
That's amazing.
We didn't grasp the concept of writing down 0. If there was nothing, there was nothing.
I mean, how paradoxical is it to write something down to symbolize nothing?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's incredible.
That's great. I wouldn't have even.
Don't give him too much credit. He's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm not giving you credit. I'm just saying that's very creative.
It's a good point.
On your
Yeah.
part.
Oh, and where do you go to school, and what is your major?
Oh, man. I was going to UPJ for a little bit for UPJA.
Yeah,
UPJA.
UPJA.
That's what we call it officially, UPJA.
Was that actually a ski resort that they turned into a college campus?
I heard about that, and I have seen log cabins there. So there is a chance of it, but at this point, I'm still just going to say it's hearsay till I actually do some research.
Okay.
But one thing you have to consider is that UPJ, they have a rock climbing wall, and there's a dormitory where you can buy cocaine from. So, like, there,
I was in that dorm. That was awesome.
all the excitement is still there of a ski resort. It's always a white wedding.
So what's your major?
Well, couldn't you tell it was partying from what I just said? No, I'm kidding. It was computer science, and oh man, I love that thing to bits and pieces. I wasn't on the same trail as Bub completely. Like, Bub, he has the idea of revolutionizing teaching, trying to help the future career. I just didn't like to talk to people, and I like computers. So,
Yeah.
but
Nice.
yeah, like I did some coding in the past, and I was like, wow, this seems pretty cool. And then I heard, oh, well, there's an entire major for it, and then there's a career. And I was like, oh, cool, all right, let's try this out. And it was pretty tits.
That's cool.
Pretty tits.
Pretty
Yeah,
tits.
But you know what I just realized? We got heavily off track. We didn't talk about this ball tap war in
Oh.
7th grade.
Yeah, I was gonna get back to that.
All right.
but-
So, yeah, like I said, me, my brother, Mark, Jared, and I think some other person, we all decided to have a ball tap war. And as you know, I mean, all's fair in love and ball tap.
War.
I did not know, but now I do.
I never
well,
participated in a ball tap.
First
war.
off, I was a pro because of the fact that I just came to school every day with a cup. So, try as they might.
There were days he was in my PE class, and people would actually like get a running start and kick him in the nads because he was wearing the cup. And
What
some
grade was this?
7th grade,
Okay.
and yeah, we both had our own little quirks. I would wear my gym clothes underneath my normal clothes, so that way when I got to the gym, I could just take off my shirt and pants and be done with it,
Yeah.
so I didn't have to get naked and stuff. But like, he would have a line of people just trying to kick him in the balls because they knew it wouldn't hurt, but they were trying to get a bruise around his weenie.
Oh.
So-
That wasn't the real issue, though. The real issue was, as he said, there was a line of people doing it, and the cup started to shift a little bit, and then it got to the point where, like, I got a ball pinch from, like, the kicks. I got, like, 5 of those, but I was putting on a brave face. I was like, I can't tell him it shifted, and this is hurting a lot. So, I just sat there.
You just muscled through it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jan. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah, but you could actually just kick him in the nuts.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear about when Alex Marnuska got a running start down a hall, kicked him in the balls? His feet lifted off the ground 1 or 2 inches, and like he didn't even flinch. Yeah,
Ugh,
I'm pretty sure he's an X-Man.
probably.
X-Man.
Wait, so why did you say it? Why did you get suspended?
Oh, yeah. This is where the real fun begins. So, as you know, I was playing on some sick defense. And I thought, if I'm going to have this castle around my kingdom, I mean, what man am I to launch a catapult at another man's castle? So I figured, all right, I'm just going to sit this one out a little bit for the most part, maybe get a few good ones in. I mean, these guys were going at it hard as hell. Like, they're doing it 4 or 5 times every period. So, like, what was that, span of 50 minutes or something? They would just be doing it constantly, yeah. So they were doing that, and I saw this one opportunity. My friend Jared, like, we have these square pillars to hold up the school. You guys remember those?
Mm-hmm.
He was hugging one from the corner, and I was like, I think I can get this bastard. So I was probably 5 feet behind him, do a full fucking sprint, knee him in the ass. He humps the corner, basically, and then bounces off of it, falls straight to the ground, and I'm like, he's done and out. I'm out of here. I just haul ass up the stairs. It turns out, me and Bub, we ran up. Mark and Jared just kind of stayed down. Jared wasn't going to get up anytime soon. He was the one who fucking humped the ball. But Mark tried to help him to the nurse's office, and evidently Jared just did nothing but sit there and puke the entire time. until he got like borderline passing out.
Oh.
Now, let it be known, Tayeb said he went for a full-on sprint, but he was a chubby little fucker, so it just looked like he was waddling through mud.
Oh yeah, like my Top Gear was as slow for a normal person. You could see me coming a mile away. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
So like, how did you get caught?
They had cameras.
Oh.
But hey, all right. Usually you get a week out for that.
Yeah.
But I was a perfect student. Like I got my lowest grade was like a 90, and I never had any other offenses before. So I was like, fucking, it's time to start lying, dude. Told Jared I'm sorry. Went into the principal and I was like, yeah, but like I didn't actually mean to hit him. I just thought that like I could act like I was going to hit him with my knee just to scare him a little bit because we're good friends, we're gonna scare each other. But then I lost my balance and I fell into him. And then that happened. I got really scared, so I ran away.
Was that Mr. Harrington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he bought it. He was like, well, I'll check the tapes. Takes a look and he's like, all right, instead of a week out, I guess I'll give you 3 days in.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's not bad.
In school was awesome. I mean, I don't know why everyone complained about it. For those of you who don't know, in school is a thing that they do in a lot of schools where instead of having you leave the school permanently, you actually come in for the day, but they have a separate room, and then you go, and then you're basically isolated. They give you your schoolwork, and then you're not allowed to talk with any other students.
It's like Shutter Island for 13-year-olds.
What was
In
that
solitary confinement.
Well,
Yeah, I went there and I thought I was an actual teacher, and they were letting me play along so that way I could get past the fact that I killed my kids and wife.
Oh.
Spoiler alert if you guys never watched Shutter Island.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Did you guys ever think about the fact that Leo on Titanic, whenever he sank, he actually washed up on the shore?
Yes.
And then Inception, he wakes up on the shore.
Yeah, Inception, he wakes up on the shore, then he spins the thing and, wobbles, but you can't tell if he's in dream or reality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he goes complete psycho bonkers crazy from it, and then he winds up on Shutter Island. Trilogy? Yes. Yes, trilogy.
Yeah, totally.
By the way, I just wanted to get this out of the way now. You know how everyone makes a big deal about the ending to Inception, whether he's in a dream or not?
Mm-hmm.
The message of the story is that he doesn't give a shit anymore because he's with his kids. So you're not supposed to know whether he's in a dream or not because he doesn't know. No one knows. He just is willing to sacrifice everything because in real life he's not going to get with his kids anymore.
Yeah, whether it's real life or in his dream, if he's with his kids, that's all he gives a shit about. He doesn't need absolute proof of what's real. He just wants what's good for his heart.
Dude, yeah.
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 Message power to the
And then
people.
Keanu Reeves busts in and he's like, "Fuck that! You need to know what's real, guys."
Dude, actually, that reminds me.
Set it for the Matrix?
You know how we're saying about college, like they just give you a prompt and say, do what you want?
Yeah.
My final for English Composition 1, you just had to compare and contrast two things. That's all it
Did
said.
you compare Matrix to the real world?
No, I compared fucking Mr. Anderson to fucking to Jesus Christ.
Who's
Who's
Mr.
Mr.
Anderson?
Oh, from South Park.
No,
That's Mr. Garrison.
Oh, Mr.
I just call him Mr. Anderson. It's Anderson something, Neo, basically. So
Yeah.
Neo, the main guy from the Matrix. I compared him to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And like they're actually at first I thought this was gonna be a bullshit thing. I looked into it and it was a little bit crazy. I got the inspiration because there's this one guy I know down in New Jersey. He teaches he has a little Sunday mass thing, and whenever he does that, basically he says the Matrix is just a retelling of the Bible, and then he points out all these different parts, and that's where I got my inspiration from. Like Agent Smith, he represents death, and think about how Mr. Smith compares to Anderson versus how death compares to Jesus. They both seem like very trying things. Death conquers the world. I mean, death runs all the people. Mr. Smith, he's in charge for the most part of all the action. But whenever Jesus dies, 3 days later, with the love of God, I like to just say, because it kind of plays a part in this, he forms part of the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. 3 days later, he rises. He defeats death. Death is no longer a thing to him. And then he ascends to the heavens. Well, Anderson, he is shot by Agent Smith. 3 minutes later, with a kiss from Trinity, true love, a kiss from Trinity brings him back. The first thing he does is he defeats Mr. Smith. He jumps into him and tears him apart. Then at the end of The Matrix, he jumps into the sky, as if he is ascending.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think a lot of things have parallels to the Bible.
Well,
It's in literature, it's regarded as one of the best books of all time. But
It's also the most stolen book in all of America.
yeah,
I would like
and
to
most
point out.
burned. What up?
Yeah.
Hey-o.
So I never said this when we were talking about majors and stuff. I go to Penn State Altoona, at least I did, and I went to his college and I sat in on his classes for a day just because.
As him?
No, he was there too. I just said I was new there and everyone bought it, so it was pretty cool. But I was there when you had to compare and contrast. My idea was the left circle and the right circle of the Venn diagram.
They do have some similarities and differences.
That's genius.
What did they say?
Everyone got a good laugh out of it, but I don't think they know I was serious.
Yeah. Well, that makes it even more fun.
Yeah, sometimes I get those ideas in my head where I want to like ask the professor or something like that, but then I'm like, nah, because I'm totally 100% serious about it, but they won't take it
I
serious.
just want classes to end, so I don't want things to drag on.
Hey, drop out. That's what I did.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Maybe. No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thinking about it.
I'll ask this week. if I
We'll
can.
see how this.
Dude, if you really want, I can get you out for free.
Oh. What?
What?
What? Oh,
the
I
fuck?
didn't tell you guys about that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to talk about this on the podcast or not.
Whatever you're comfortable with talking about.
If
talk
you're comfortable about it, it
Oh,
doesn't.
dude, I don't
yeah.
give a shit what the hell
First,
I'm talking about.
I'd like to just say one quick thing. In college, for any of you listening that have not went to college, if the teacher ever says "do what you want," it is customary that you shout out, "Do what you want with my body," and then they'll let you do whatever you want, and you will get a good grade regardless of what you do. Fact.
That's really good advice for our listeners.
Also, out of context, if you are funny with it, you can talk about masturbation in class.
That is
Has
true.
happened.
Totally. Oh, so what the fuck were you talking about?
Oh, he
Oh.
tried to off himself.
Yeah, in short.
The computer programmer, not the guy dropped out of school.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to?
Are you?
I just wanted to see my waifu.
What the
What?
fuck?
What is that?
All right.
No, I'm kidding. It
So
wasn't that.
he's a weeb and he does nothing but watch anime. And
So
a waifu.
That's why you cut yourself?
Yeah, dude, totes. I mean, I just had to be with my One-chan.
What the fuck?
I'm
What?
kidding. That's all it is. All right, basically what I just said is, yeah, of course, I just cut myself so I could be with my anime sister. That's what I just said. No.
Are you okay
That was-
now? Or
Of course
I-
not. He's still a weeb.
I'm sitting here in a tuxedo shirt and wearing pajama
yeah,
bottoms.
why did I even ask that question?
I have a shaved head and a grizzly beard. Do I look like I have any part of my life under control?
So what do you mean? What do
Like,
you mean?
you guys
What do you mean
just
you get out
flash-
for free? I don't.
Oh, all right. So what I was saying was, if you just slit your wrists, rather than having to fill out all that dropout paperwork, they'll just kick you out.
What? What?
Really?
They do all the work for you. Oh yeah, I wasn't allowed. But you know, I said I was taking a bit of a break. Yeah, well, that's because I had to actually go to a counselor and basically get them to say I'm mentally stable to go back.
Wow.
Hey, yo, guys, you're hanging out with a cuckoo head now.
Wow, man. That
Yeah.
sucks. So, are you seeing a counselor now? Or
No, and he's been off his meds for weeks.
By the way, when did that bug get on your face?
that's
Oh, it's been there
I
all
have
day.
2 of them actually.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I think I'm gonna name him Jerry. He's gonna come
Yeah.
back with me and live in my skin.
No, but like, do you just like to joke about this or?
All right.
Is that what makes it better? Like, does that help?
All right. The
Let
thing
me-
about this is that. Oh, hold on.
I was gonna say, so me and my brother have a weird way of dealing with tragedy, and the fact that like we've joked around with our brother's
Yeah.
death a
I
lot.
laugh at funerals too.
Yeah, and the I put the fun in funeral, but like I went to pick him up on the night he slit his wrists, and I when we were driving back because it's 45 minutes away, I asked him if he would put gas in my car if I gave him my card, and then I was just like, wait, no, fuck you, you're just gonna try chugging the gasoline, aren't you? And then I just, well, yeah, he got out of pumping the gas, which is stupid.
Awesome.
Moral of the story: if you slit your wrist, you get everything you want.
Yeah, right there.
What?
That's the lesson learned.
By the way, everyone don't listen to that.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but
But if you want to read about it, you can try going on audiobooktrials.com.
for a free ebook.
Free audiobook.
It's audiobook.
Audiobook,
We
my
got
bad.
that right now.
I don't have a book on there, but there's probably some book that is kind of like it. So right
what,
there.
What made you do that?
All right, so
was it just like being away from him?
No. All right.
It's because his girlfriend broke up with him.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Oh.
Just a heads up, it's not that. Our mom's just stupid and doesn't know how to deal with people. And she thought it was that. And then a couple days after that, she tried making me find a girlfriend for him, thinking that was going to help. So, yeah, as you could tell, there's not a whole lot of right going on. But go on, Dad. Explain yourself.
Oh, first off, one really funny thing that I want to point out is my ex-girlfriend who I left. She thought that's the one who I wanted to be with when I cut myself. I paid $60 to get out of dating her anymore.
What do you mean you paid $60?
What does it mean? I bought my freedom. Hallelujah, free at last.
Yeah, now he carries around paperwork with him saying he's officially single.
Yeah.
So
Do you actually?
Yeah, I literally paid $60
Yeah.
to get out of dating her.
Why?
Oh, that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
So-
Is that bad?
Okay.
Dude, I can't even justify paying $60 for a video game.
Dude, all right. Let me.
That's how that. Well, listen to me whenever I say it was worth every penny.
If you could describe the relationship, it'd be a sad hand job.
a sand job.
Sad hand job, like a real tearjerker, but not with emotions.
Okay.
You see what-
Gazoo!
So, what were we saying?
we're either-
girlfriends?
yeah,
Oh,
do you guys wanna talk
why
about-
you cut yourself? Yeah, that's why.
All right, so we're talking about cutting myself. That's where we go. All right, I like that. All right. No, basically, you know how Bub said we joke around a lot with Andy's death. Well, for those of you who don't know, whenever we were,
Andy?
yeah, he was our half brother. He died whenever we were 8.
Oh.
And the way that I basically dealt with it was I tried shutting off my emotions, and I would just completely ignore any emotion that came to me, and I would ignore any other kind of feeling that came to me. Like, if I got hungry, I wouldn't eat. I could go through 2 or 3 days with just like half a bag of chips and maybe like less than a cup of root beer. I did that several times. Very delicious. But no, it just got to a point where it was just so much of me not knowing who I was, along with a lot of apathy from all that emotional rejection, that I just didn't give a shit about me, or I didn't think that anyone should have given a shit about me.
In
Like
college? This is... Or when your half-brother died?
This was whenever you were 8 years old?
Well, whenever I was 8 years old is whenever I decided to just completely quit with emotions. And that's just where I first started it. Like, I still cried a lot, but I remember there was a day whenever I realized I could think about Andy and feel nothing. And whenever I realized I got there, I was like, it's just how I want to live. I just don't want to feel anything. So I went on for years trying to do that. Like, I'm 18 now. That's about 10 years that we have of me doing nothing but hiding my feelings, hiding who I am.
And then it just
And-
fucking blew up in your face in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole point of it was I didn't try to kill myself because I was sad. I didn't try to kill myself because I was angry. I tried to kill myself because I didn't feel. I just didn't care. And I thought I didn't think I was worth being a person at that point.
So
And I thought that if I could just clear up some space for another person and try their hand, that'd be enough.
Spoken like a true programmer.
01011101.
So
what got you out of that? Like, or are you still in that mindset?
Or yeah.
Well, okay, so I've been in therapy since December.
Good.
Yeah?
I was
So-
hoping you wouldn't consider this therapy.
No.
Thad, every time I get to see your face, I feel a little happier.
Oh, I thank you.
You make
So
me
do
feel
all
better
the
in all the
ladies.
wrong
Shout out
places.
to all the ladies. So what were you saying, man?
I was in. I'm still in therapy. It went from, like, basically what we had to do was they tried CBT therapy with me. That's cognitive behavioral therapy.
All right.
And what that means is that if a thought came to my mind, like, I had thought racing problems too, but if a thought came to mind, like, just, oh, you're a piece of shit, the idea of it was to analyze that thought, see what evidence goes with it, what evidence goes against it, put a new thought in place, and then see how you feel after that. So I tried, like, we'll say, oh man, I'm a total piece of shit. I would be like, okay, well, I've done this, this, this in my life. That can go with it, I guess. But then I've done this, this, and that in my life. That goes against me being a piece of shit. Maybe I can say I'm a good person. How do I feel after saying this?
So it's kind of like you're trying to shift your thought process. So
Yeah.
instead of like trying to think negatively, you still see the negatives, but then you try to put a positive in there
Yeah.
to kind of help with
Yeah, that was
those
the general
negatives,
point of
to
it.
kind of like neutralize
Did it work at all? Or-
Well, we were able to verify that he is in fact a piece of shit because he's always eating my goddamn Thin Mints.
The
And-
records do show that, yes, it has been scientifically proven.
He's always eating my snacks. Real pain in the real asshole. Really such an asshole.
I learned at that point I wasn't a piece of shit. I was just your run-of-the-mill douche. And that made me feel a million times better.
Until he started watching Jersey Shore.
In which case, then I became a Guido. That was a dark time in my life.
Were you a closeted Guido?
No, I would openly punch Snooki in the face.
It's hard to hide the fact that you look like an Oompa Loompa.
Everywhere I'd walk, there'd always just be those sirens just...
He was always doing the fist bump.
Oh, it's just not... 24/7. Years on
Yeah.
end. Do you have any idea how hard it is trying to sleep like this?
Are the cabs here?
What?
Oh, you didn't actually watch Jersey? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry, man. We didn't
So-
actually watch-
We may be stupid, but every time I watch that show, I can feel my brain cells slowly committing seppuku, and I just need to turn it off.
Yeah, dude.
What's Supaku?
They hang from
Dishon-
fluorescent lights.
Dishonorable suicide.
Dishonorable suicide.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
like,
wait. I know. Seppuku is honorable suicide. Harakiri is dishonorable suicide.
what is dishonorable suicide?
If
You know how a guy gets dishonorably discharged? Imagine that, but with his life.
How do you like? What is honorable suicide?
honorable suicide would be like, say you do,
for my family.
kinda, but less racist. Yeah,
Thanks, Weibel. They're back 30 years.
Yeah, jeez.
glad you did that. I hope you know that now we're gonna be boycotted, and this isn't even my show.
I think an honorable suicide would be like, if you're about to lose a war or something, and you don't want to be taken as a prisoner. You're just like, all right, fine, I'll kill myself. You know, what the Japanese did a lot. That's honorable suicide. But if you start acting like a little pussy, and then they're like, well, you just gotta fucking kill yourself, dude. Then they finally off themselves. That's dishonorable.
Okay.
Taya being the latter, by the way.
Heyo. But
So you're fine? You're better now?
you gotta fine, dude.
Dad, I love
sorry. It's
I
just-
love the
you show me
show,
cuts on
but-
your wrist. And
yeah,
it's just,
I love the show, but that was like 3 minutes ago. Come on, man.
okay.
Get up with
Well,
the
I
times.
don't think we really got to that, but yeah. Okay.
All right, but one thing that I did want to touch upon also for that was like you said, people don't get to start exploring themselves in college.
Well, in high school.
Yeah, I mean they don't get to explore themselves
Yeah.
until they get to college, and I think that's also another really big problem because whenever you wait that long to try to find yourself, it can be overwhelming. It can be scary. I mean, whenever you're up in home nursing and then they say like you have to start trying to find yourself and figure out who you are,
Yeah.
that's some crazy ass shit.
Like you have like 18 years of just build up, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
whatever I've been making for like almost 20 years isn't me, and
Yeah.
now I suddenly
don't know
need to
about
figure
you
it
guys,
out.
But there was always like in elementary school and stuff. There was always like the top kid, and the teacher would always say like they're such a good example and everything. Like you
Yeah.
should be. And so we always aspired to be like that. Well, the ones who cared, the ones who didn't care, they just were themselves.
Yeah.
But
The,
then you still had that, and then in college you're just like, well, I have to fucking figure it out now.
In elementary school, you always wanted to be the guy that was supposed to hold the door for everyone else. You remember that? The
Yeah.
like leader of the day or
Yep.
something, and you just hold the door for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
wanted you to hold the door. They wanted you to answer all the questions right. Might I add right? They don't want wrong answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is almost kind of putting pressure on a child that doesn't know what's happening for no
Yeah.
reason.
Well, I think wrong answers are a really good learning tool, and I don't think that we use them like the
I've
way how
learned
we
a
should
lot
be
more
using
from
them.
the failed tests than the 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's something that they don't really care about. Like, in short, a lot of things that schools care about anymore is just standardized testing.
How much money can we make?
Yeah, I mean, the only point of why they even try teaching us jack shit these days is so we can fill out the bubbles. They don't try to teach you how to be a person. They teach you how to be a student, how to be a worker. They don't teach you how to think. They teach you what to think.
Yeah, well, it's really a holdover from the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our education system was designed to produce efficient workers going into the workforce to generate the most amount of profit for
Smart
the
enough
people.
to follow orders, but not dumb enough to question the authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, one other thing, which since I want to be a teacher, I look up a lot of things about the educational system and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it did start with the Industrial Revolution. There was actually back in the 80s a little influx where for a while girls were more successful than boys because they tried appealing to girls more, so that way they would be more successful. So then the dropout rate of boys increased, along with their test scores and stuff dropped while the girls went up.
So they did like a psychological experiment on the down low.
Kinda, and then they brought it back for the boys because they sunk so low, but they never hit the kind of equilibrium trying to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But throughout the entire educational system, racism has always been a problem. Like, have you ever looked at the school-to-prison pipeline?
No.
No. What is that?
So, it's statistically proven that a white child and a black child who get in trouble for doing the same thing, the black child is punished even more severely, and they have a high rate of dismissing a lot of ethnicities,
Yeah.
including Asians have the high suicide rate because teachers refuse to help them because they assume they're smart because they're
high
Asians.
expectations.
Yeah, they have higher expectations and they have a lot more pressure on them. Native American children have the highest dropout rate because they just are neglected.
They're so neglected.
And they have so many problems. Then African American children have one of the highest rates of going straight from school to prison because all they ever do is when, say, an African American child does something wrong, he gets suspended for 10 days. And if he comes back and something else happens, they put him in school and they just kind of...
And then eventually you get pushed into the alternative school.
Yeah, they never try to reform him.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of white kids, they try to reform and try to have them reflect upon their actions rather.
Yeah,
than,
they'll ask them like,
Yeah.
why did you do this?
And fun fact, the way we decide how many prisons to build is based on the reading scores of third graders. Because those third graders, and it takes about 10 years to build all the prisons, so they look at the third grader scores, and the lower the scores, the more prisons they build. Because they assume if you can't read well, or if you're somewhat illiterate, you're just going to go to prison, and there's nothing else you can do.
Because the stats say so.
Because of the school to career pipeline.
Yeah.
I mean,
School to prison pipeline.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up and jaded that really, I know a lot of people say white privilege isn't a thing, but it is such a thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's astounding, really. And it's one of those things that I just really want to clear up, where if I do decide to become a teacher, pursue that, I want to try my best to appeal to everyone and not have anyone left out. Like, I wanted to actually start a club for kids that can't make friends, and they just come together to try to learn how to talk to everyone else.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a podcast, man.
Yeah, kind of. Like,
Kinda like a
we're
podcast.
just... where all you do is you just come together and bullshit about whatever you guys like, so that way you can start to learn how to socialize and you don't get stuck in this cube.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I don't really get is like trying to censor kids after the age of 15, because like, you know, once you're that age, you know, you're
What do you mean censor?
like, okay, if you say fuck in class,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I shouldn't say that. It's like, why?
Well, I think a lot of that is still just them trying to pressure you to follow society's rules. I mean, it's still looked down upon for you to swear. It's looked down upon for you to have certain views, to say certain things. I think one of that is just them trying to make sure that, I don't want to say you're disciplined for the society, but you go in knowing, like, if I start talking like this, people are going to think this way about me. I might get in trouble, this, that, the other. I mean, a lot of people who do TV and stuff, if they're on air and they swear, you see, like, they get fines, they get calls, they get emails. Personally, I never thought there was a problem with that. I mean...
No, but that's how people... I mean, I grew up... My father swore all the time, and I was just like, that's just how real people
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, actually, this reminds me of a discussion I had with a teacher once about why kids have to swear. Because swearing in itself, there's two different kinds of swearing to me. There's vulgar swearing where
Every other word's fuck.
Yeah.
well,
no,
not even that.
Where
It's-
you're actually pissed off and like trying to like say something to somebody. Where
So-
you're actually like
where
trying to
you're,
offend somebody with it, right?
the best way I can say it is needlessly nasty. Where instead of saying having sex, you want to say I fucked a pussy or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
That's
That's
vulgar
what I say, yeah.
swearing. I don't like it.
You know,
But-
you never eat a girl out. You tongue punch her fart box.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I like I do
love how
like
you guys one up each other.
You just retrofit the ham wallet, but call it a gut locker. But
Okay, we're done.
yeah, okay. But there's that, and then there is what I call emotional swearing, where my best example, a more extreme example, is say a girl was raped or her family was killed, and she confronts the perpetrator. What do you think is going to come out of her mouth? I fucking hate you?
Yeah.
Or I despise you, I loathe you, you're just scum of the
Mhm.
bottom of my shoe, I have no remorse. Yeah, it just... Swearing in itself has more emotion and more... almost kind of empathy with it, where you can associate more with it, and you don't sound as pompous or arrogant, where it sounds like you're trying to sound sad or mad, rather than actually being sad or
Well,
mad.
the thing about it is that actually swear words, as compared to other words that we use in our brain, like whenever we actually check out how the brain reacts to it, it is every time you say like fuck or shit and you really mean it, it hits more in the emotional region than any other words do. I mean, we use them for emphasis to show that we're feeling something.
Yeah, I've seen research that shows that as well.
But
I think it all depends on context, really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's where the emotional versus vulgarity comes in.
So you know I'm really happy when I fuck that dank ass puss.
Yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is like using it as an interjection, or like in terms of like, you know, you just screwed up on a test and you're like, son of a bitch, you know.
Yeah, actually,
I mean, I totally disagree with like just calling people random vulgarities because I mean, yes, we should not do that. I think that's the same thing as like name calling.
The whole not swearing works better in an academic setting because it's like things are already planned out. Like your presentation's already planned out. Like me swearing is when I'm going off the dome, just trying to figure things out.
Well,
what's going on.
One thing I actually like is, you know how they say swearing is unintelligent? Statistically proven, the higher your IQ, the more likely you are to swear.
And wasn't there a correlation between honesty and swearing?
Yeah.
Make sure you
like
remember,
you're more
people,
honest if you
correlation
swear.
does not equal causation. That's one of the big problems. You have to remember why we're building prisons based on 3-year-old fucking reading scores is completely ludicrous.
One thing I'd also like to add, a lot of people, I know a lot of people that don't know the difference between correlation and causation.
Yeah.
My favorite example is, ever since Barack Obama has been elected, bear attacks in the United States have went down. And he has done absolutely nothing to stop that.
I like the one how murder and ice cream sales go up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to take a moment to say, for any of you guys that think this is heavy, earlier during the same podcast, I just said I stick butter knives in the outlet. That's the kind of person you're dealing with. And it's fun.
Have you actually done that?
No.
No. Okay.
Dude, I'd be dead. Come on.
But he did throw a mortar in a fireplace once.
I didn't throw it in there. I was just close to it.
You mean like a firework mortar?
Yeah. Like
those are fun.
One of those big... And it was in a metal cylinder. And that metal cylinder exploded all over the place.
Well, I mean, I've put
everywhere.
aerosol cans in fires before.
All right, Seth. Oh, wait. You guys want to hear a fun story?
Sure.
Dude, do it.
Do you guys
Time.
know Seth Stewart?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
oh, yeah, I remember what happened to him.
Yeah, so he got burned real bad. That's not the story. The story is he was in my engineering class I took, and every time the teacher was sick, everyone would get their desks in a circle, and we'd all just talk and bullshit, have a good time.
That's cool.
And one time, like every day, we'd always...
This is in high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's in high school. And we would just start going, roast, 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 and we'd want to roast someone, just make fun of them jokingly. So Seth one day said, you know what, guys, I'll be in a roast. I looked him square in the eyes and said, Seth, the last thing you need is another good burn.
He then proceeded to drop the mic.
Well, that's good.
I guess the pencil since he was in class.
Oh, it was a pencil.
Anything you could find, really.
I just
so
flipped
he was
the.
speaking into the pencil?
What I did is I flipped the desk over. I looked the teacher in the eye, and I just walked out.
That's how you do it.
I hope you're not lying about that.
Sadly, that's a joke. But
He did have sex on top of a black man. That is a real thing.
Whoa,
I did.
okay.
Wait, actually. So wait.
What the hell
I just want to gauge.
happened?
I want to gauge the audience. Do you guys want to hear the story of me having sex on
They
top of a
can't
black man?
answer you.
Yes.
Or
Oh yeah, Matt's the audience.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
we've got
I
a
meant the
secretary.
audience and the two hosts. Well, there's that, or there's also the time I almost got a teacher fired for
Let
sexual
me tell you, we
harassment.
want to hear both stories.
Yeah, tell us
All
both
right.
story. We have so much time, dude.
All right. Oh, sweet. I love that. I don't want this to end.
We can go 6 hours. I don't care. Somebody's going to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah,
God,
or we
yes.
can split it up into multiple episodes.
No, fuck them. We're
No,
going
I mean
6
release
hours
them at the
straight.
same time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. So,
All 6 hours.
little old me, Jacob Von Doe going. I had this lady friend back in 9th grade. I
Yes,
believe you
uh-huh,
remember her.
mhm.
For
I don't
for safety
care.
Yeah,
for safety
but-
reasons, I won't say her name.
Yeah, let's not
Good.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't say the black man's name either.
No, we can
Oh,
totally
we're
say
gonna
his
Yeah.
name.
Okay.
Black man.
Okay, say the black man.
He
we're
won't
gonna, we're gonna
care.
say the black man's
Don't
name.
slip
'cause
up
I
on
say
the
his
girl's
full
name.
name. I will spell out his name.
But I'll even tell everyone his social security number if I have to. Either way, it's wee little old me back in 9th grade. And sorry guys, we're having there we go. I just had to process my thoughts a
we're
little
fine
bit.
now.
It's a big story. It really is. It's life-changing. So, my parents, I like to say they're functional alcoholics because they're always looking for a reason to party, but my dad works his ass off. So, yeah, functional alcoholic. And one day, they started making strombolis for dinner. The perfect reason to party. My father just came in and was like, "Hey, Jake, we're making strombolis. So we're just going to invite a bunch of family over, get drunk, and make strombolis for everyone." "Sure, Dad. You do you. You know how to have fun. Look at you, Mr. Grizzly." So,
Mr. Grizzly?
he's like a bear.
He looks like Sasquatch, dude.
He's a papa bear.
All right.
But, so, I'm like, all right. And he's like, "You can invite some friends over." "Righto, Dad. Right on. I love that idea." So I invite some of my friends over, including my lady friend at the time. And let me give you the layout of the land. It was me and my lady friend in this one room by ourselves, my room. In the room next to me was like 6 other people playing video games. Downstairs, everyone else. We had like, I want to say 15, 20 people in the house. So plenty of people downstairs, most of them adults, including my parents. So me and my lady friend, we start kissing. Things are getting hot and steamy, and things progress before you know it. I'm groping for trout in a peculiar river. And everything, yeah, we're making the beast of 2 backs. And everything's going off without a hitch. It's great. Finally, I hit my crescendo, and everything goes off well. So we're doing everything a young couple does when they're in youthful love.
Crescendoing.
Crescendo. But yeah, we're doing everything a young couple does after they just make coitus. We're just cuddling, having a little bit of pillow talk, shooting the breeze. Suddenly, I get a text from my friend Mark, and it says, "Hey, stop fucking on top of Al." And I'm like, "What? Huh? Is this the Riddles 3? What do you mean stop fucking
Was
on
this
top
in the
of Al?"
process? So like you answered your phone in the middle of this happening?
Oh, he was totally a champ. He was like, "Dude, sup? I'm totally gonna fuck this bitch. I'm gonna text my friend." No.
No. Remember how I said pillow talk? Just cuddling pillow talk? Crescendo meant I came, by the way. It meant I was finished. I did the dirty. I did the deed. I was done servicing her sexuals. So,
He pricked the main vein.
yeah. I flicked that bean, but,
The plumbing was done.
yeah, my
His
pipe.
pipes were clean.
I think they get it. I mean,
So, yeah, we were just like,
His dick vomited.
yeah. We weren't done.
she harnessed the baby batter.
No. We're done.
Okay,
We're
done. We're done. So I'm looking around thinking, what my friend Mark means, stop fucking on top of Al. I thought he sent to the wrong person or something. Well, lo and behold, I'm looking around, and underneath my bed is my friend Al Moomin of just a couple of years, laying under the bed, looking terrified. And I'm like, "Al, what the fuck are you doing under here?" He's like, "I've been here the entire time." I was like, "Why didn't you say anything?" He was like, I didn't know what to say. So that's how I lost my virginity, and it was technically a three-way.
If you think about the vicinity, I mean, he was within the 2-foot radius, so I think it totally counts.
God.
Also, he was on the laptop the entire time, so I'm betting he was probably playing some Barry Manilow to start the baby making music in the first place. He had just as big as hand in Mrs. Bub.
Actually, I would like to interject and say he was not on a computer. He was on a Kindle Fire, which you could also get ebooks from by going on
Dude, it's
audiobooks.
my bad.
Get through your skull.
Audiobooks by going to, is it audiobooktrial.com
Audio trial.
audiotrial.com?
Audible trial.
Oh, this is just a
God
mess.
damn it, I can't even say it. audibletrial.com/Fireside Talks.
So, yeah.
Actually,
What was the other story?
It's about me getting basically the Mother Teresa of Altoona High almost arrested based on pedophilia and sexual harassment.
Now, hold on.
Can you tell me a name after the show?
Yes.
Sweet.
Now, before we start that, though, since he was telling a sex story, it just reminded me of a real quick one. I don't want it to take too much time, but I knew this one dude.
Take all the time now.
He called his best friend when he was in the middle of having sex with a chick who had the body of a 12-year-old boy. Very ugly woman, by the way. But he called her up in the middle of having sex. I mean, he called his friend up in the middle of having sex with her. And he was like, dude, I'm totally having sex right now. I'm about to come. Then he screamed for Breeze and punched her in the chest. And then he just hung up the phone. That's a real...
I wish I had your lives in
Wait,
junior high
actually-
and high school.
Actually, I have another funny short sex story. This is with my current girlfriend. Sadly, me and the other lady split up, so now I
Did you
won't...
pay $60 to leave it?
No.
He became a free man for free.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He
the
got a
best.
bargain deal.
And yeah, after she started doing me wrong, so
Come on.
I only,
Emancipation Proclamation.
I only ever addressed her as my beer wench, which is put a strain on our relationship. It was either that or my concubine, neither of which she was too fond of. But my current girlfriend, me and her were making some sweet, gentle love. And I like to be adventurous in the boudoir, ladies, if I'm single. But I tried being a little adventurous, so I tried whispering in her ear, and I leaned up to her and was like, "Do you like when I whisper in your ear?" She said, "Yeah." So I leaned in closer, and I said even quieter, "I don't know what to say." We had to take a break from sex.
She was just putty in his fingers after that.
Let me tell you, I didn't walk downstairs, I swam.
All right.
Dude, you could drown a toddler in her panties. She was wearing a G-string too. There wasn't even that
A
much
toddler
to it.
that had just been conceived.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I used her regime to make my spaghetti.
He barely got that one out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was much funnier in my head.
That it was.
I heard it.
So, Mother Teresa?
Alright. So this was in 10th grade. My threesome happened in 9th grade, so I'm a man with a very wild life.
Wise beyond his years. He's learned a lot.
And drowning toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But, so I was in 10th grade, and I had this one class which I knew no one in. And I like to have a good time. I like to think my vibe tonight just kind of showed off I like to have a good time. So we were talking about different cultures and how they eat different foods and whatnot, and how it might be weird to us, but what we eat is weird to them. So I jokingly said, 2 things I always wanted to eat: human and panda back ribs. I always wanted to try panda back ribs. But that was at the beginning of the class. Near the end of the class, we're doing some homework. I'm sitting in my lonely little desk. The person in front of me is not here today, so the seat's empty. So the teacher's aide walks right by and sits in front of the desk. I'm thinking nothing to myself because, you know, she's kind of old. She needs a seat. She was old. But, so she sits down, and then she just turns over and takes the pencil right out of my hands. And I'm like, okay, guess she needs to write something. So then she turns around and takes my entire fucking notebook. And, I look at her and go, "What?" Because I'm, "What are you doing, woman? You just took my entire notebook. I'm trying to do stuff here." So, I swear, she didn't even write anything down. She just took it and handed it back to me. But on the page was written, "long meat." And I was like, So I look down at it, and I look at her again. I go, what? like, what are you doing, woman? What? And then she's just like, do you know what that means? No, I don't. What does it mean? I know what it means. So when you get home today, look up what it means and come see me after class to tell me what it means. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then she said something like, so what do you think about this? And I thought to myself, I think you're being pretty creepy. Like, come on, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, son. Like, what do you think you're doing? So then my logic kicks in, and I think, oh, this might just be a misunderstanding. I better wait. Let this play out to see what happens. So I'm like, all right, I take your challenge. I'll walk to Mordor. I'll look up Longmeat, lady, who I can't name. So I'm asking absolutely everyone and their mother, what is Longmeat? Do you know what Longmeat is? I don't know what Longmeat is. I even go to the library, pick up a dictionary, can't find Longmeat. Ask the librarians, what is Longmeat?
No way. After he asked the librarians, they quickly scrunched up their faces and said, "Get off Pornhub, you shit."
They didn't say that, by the way.
They did in the back room, though.
Yeah, they thought it. I could tell. They had judgmental eyes.
What grade was this again?
10th grade.
Okay.
My second
week,
after the second week of 10th grade. So, I get home, still can't find it. So I tell my parents about the whole fiasco, and they're up in arms because they're like, oh my god, we got a pedophile in the school. You're getting hit on. Oh my god. So they turn to Facebook, and they ask the question, and absolutely everyone just keeps finding porn. So they're just like, you might want to talk to this girl, like, file a complaint, because all that's coming up is like, dude puts long meat in Asian girl's pink stink and stuff like that. So like,
girl howls like a squealing pig on the farm.
Yeah, this was back before I started wearing skinny jeans, so she just assumed I was well endowed, and she thought wrong. But,
she thought wrong.
Yeah. So I was flattered yet disgusted all at once. I had this general fragrance of beauty with the vomit in the back of my mouth, and because she was like 60 years old. So the next day, my parents were like, "You need to go, like, file a complaint to the principal." And I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Then after that, you can get your G-MILF and cookies.
I just thought to myself, I don't really care. I'm not going to do anything. I mean, she sure as hell isn't going to do anything. She probably has life alert or something. Like, if I push her down, she's not getting back up.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I've fallen and I can't turn up.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, so I think to myself, yeah, who cares?
Alcohol ODs.
Yeah, I'll just let it ride. But then I'm sitting in a very boring class, no one to talk to in my chemistry class, so I think, you know what, I'm bored. I finished what we were supposed to do. I want to get out of here. I'll file a complaint. Because you know what? Sex victims always get what they want. Fact.
So let the record show, if this guy gets bored, he'll file a complaint that can get you fired from your job. Keep this man entertained.
Did she get fired? Or
okay,
finish.
Let me finish the story, please. I'm gonna be the next J.R.R. Tolkien. But so
you did say Mordor.
Yeah, I did. So I walked down, filed a complaint. What you had to do was you had to write down the scenario that happened on a piece of paper and whatever. So I write it down, and I'm in fourth period, and they take me out, and they're like, the principal wants to talk to you. So I go down, talking to the principal, telling her what happened. Same story I told you guys, less vulgarity.
The head principal?
Mature. Yeah, Patty B.
Mama Bear.
Mama
nice
Bear
lady.
Burlingame.
Yeah.
Back when she was fat. She lost a lot of weight. She's like half her size.
Isn't she sickly though? Isn't that because she?
No, she's looking better now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
She looks great now.
Good.
Actually.
I like to believe that skinny her is kind of like skinny Oprah to fat Oprah, where you just don't know the difference.
No, yeah,
Here's my question: how is Oprah fat? Okay, you're a billionaire. You can't just pay someone to make you not fat all the time.
Oh, what is that? You get some of my lipo, you get some of my lipo. Look under your chairs. We all have lipo. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, today's daily prize: tummy fat.
Come, stay tuned for tomorrow. We're getting the staples.
Oh man.
But so they take my notebook, which I never erased Longmeat because I knew they'd probably want to see it.
Yeah.
They take it, photocopy it for evidence, tell them what happens. They look it up, find nothing but porn. So they're like, this bitch gonna get out of here. We're gonna fire her. We're gonna press charges because she's trying to solicit sex from an underage male. She's just not doing her job, whatever, yada yada. Mm-hmm. So that all goes through. And then Patty says, hey, wait. Before we pull you out of that class, do you want to go back, sit down, and just listen to see if she brings up long meat again? And see if it's just a misunderstanding. I'm like, Patty B, look at you. This is why they leave the school up into your hands. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So I get there. Most of the time, she doesn't say a thing about it. Until finally near the end, she's like, did you look up long meat? And I was like, yeah, I did, but I found nothing but porn. And she was like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. It's actually a pirate term for cannibalism. And I was like, oh, well, isn't that interesting? Do you mind if I go to the bathroom? So I hightail my ass down to the principal's office, writing one of those notes like, hey, I'm so sorry, don't fire her. She didn't do anything wrong. It's just a misunderstanding. And I get back, and it turns out the principal wasn't there because they were already picking her up to interrogate her and stuff. They were already questioning her about what was going on. So, like, they talk about how it's a misunderstanding, and they let her go. Then I find out a couple days later, not only was that a misunderstanding, she goes to third world countries every year to help build houses, and once gave this one Ethiopian girl so much money after their economy collapsed that she literally fainted. Wow. I almost fired the Mother Teresa of Altoona High. If they would have convicted her, I would go straight to hell because she is a saint.
Yeah, maybe she should get better with words. You know? Yeah. No more long meat.
Man, speaking of school and like some really classic stuff here, did you guys hear about the Phantom Shitter?
No.
All right, so like this was the first year all of us got into high school, and this was a prom at the junior high.
Oh.
There was some dude in the middle of the gymnasium, in front of the principal's office, and in the library.
Oh,
all of these
yes.
things, all these things have cameras, but there's just been human piles of shit there, and no one knows who's been shitting.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Junior high when we were in the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cameras didn't catch him somehow, so I have no choice but to assume this child was a juggalo, shitting his pants and letting the turds fall out.
Probably Fago in the shit, too.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time in 10th grade? So you know the B building second floor boys bathroom? So you know how you walk in the door and directly turn right, and there's a urinal right there.
Yep.
Right there. Well, one day, every day after B lunch, in my 10th grade year, I would always go to the bathroom before the second half of fourth period. And the one day I went in there before Shakespeare, and there was just a shart all over that first urinal. and I'm like, oh, that happened. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay. How did they do that? Because, it was right at, like, they took that was a risky move. That's a really risky move. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to go do my business. I'm going to the urinal that's furthest away from it. Because, there were like 20 urinals in a row.
How did they even go about that chart? Did they have to, like, put their foot up on the wall?
I don't know what they did. That's what I'm saying. It's just really weird.
I'm pretty sure, this is just my hypothesis, the Phantom Shitter shat in there, and he was going to write an excrement, we're not a gang, we're family.
but
yeah.
So like 3 or 4 people walked in. They look at it and they're like, they look at it and they don't do anything about it. Nobody talks. Nobody says a word. Everybody's just like, oh, okay. It's the silent awareness. Like, we all know it's there, but nobody's acknowledging it or dealing with it. And then finally, the all-star linebacker, the senior linebacker of that year, just walks in. Yo, one of you guys shit in the toilet? Or shit in the urinal?
That reminds me of another funny story if you guys would like to hear it.
Actually, same here too. Well, wait, what's your story?
I'm going to tell the story about when I accidentally walked in on a 50-year-old man peeing in a one-person bathroom, and I stayed in the bathroom the entire time till he was done peeing.
The majesty of White Castle.
what is your story?
What did you say?
What?
Do you guys want to hear that story?
Yeah,
the
that
story about me
story.
shaking myself at the curb, or I
Both.
shat myself twice in one day.
All three.
All right. We'll start with mine because it's the shortest, simplest. So we're at White Castle down in New Jersey. And,
Did you get some burgers?
well, what else do you do at White Castle?
Watch a 50-year-old man pee.
What does one do when they are in the presence of majesty? So we were
Bow.
there, and I was really excited. Really, really. We literally drove an entire hour to go get White
Just to
Castle.
watch a 50-year-old man pee.
Yeah, I mean,
It's pretty hot.
his scrotum was extra leathery.
Okay.
But,
You could see it from a mile
Like
away.
I could make a jacket out of that and just have
Wow.
this shine to
Yep.
it too. I don't think he bathed for
Or a
it.
lampshade.
yeah. Well,
It was extra vinegary.
yeah.
Scent.
When first thing I said when I walked into him was, "You forgot to take your jacket off." Motorcycle jacket. Oh right.
Thanks, Bob.
Either way, so we were there, and me and Tab are like, it's like the first time you have your crush. Like we're all giddy and stuff because we're so excited to eat White Castle. Like never did it before.
How old were you? Did you say?
Oh, we were in.
What, 2 years ago?
It's even better now.
Wait, it's even better.
Not too.
Yeah, yeah.
You stood there and
16.
watched a man
We were
pee.
16.
Just listen. So the reason we went to White Castle 2 years ago is because we were on our way to Medieval Times Dinner and Dines, and we needed a rest stop to get some food. By the way, one of the worst times I've ever had.
Yeah, medieval times sucks.
Oh yeah, like whenever I always had this thing like, oh, I'm not legally allowed to drink right now, so I probably shouldn't. I was at Medieval Times for all of about 5 minutes before I said, someone get me a fucking drink right now.
Yeah.
But so finally we get our food. Very happy, very excited, and I think, oh wow, look at me, I'm like a dog, because when I get too excited I piss myself. Not a real thing. Kind of wish it did though. So I'm like, all right guys, I gotta go pee. So I see this old guy walk into the bathroom, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's a bathroom. I mean, come on, stalls and stuff. So I walk in there, and the urinal is right beside the door. Like, I open up the door, and I didn't see it was only a one-person bathroom yet. So I say, excuse me, and I open up the door. Like, I have to shuffle between, like, my chest scrapes across his back because the door didn't open wide enough. The urinal's right by the door. So, like, I squeeze by him while he's peeing. I'm like, excuse me. And I just shuffle in there. And I walk in there, and there's just a toilet and a urinal. And I'm like, fuck. Because what am I going to do? Walk back and say, oh, I'm sorry, you're peeing in here, and there's another toilet you're not using? So
You should have peed in the other toilet.
I did.
Oh.
What I did was I waited a little bit.
For him to take off his jacket.
Yeah.
The show to start.
Yeah. I had a mirror in my pocket trying to look behind me without a nosing.
He was pulling out some ones just in case.
But, so,
Get into a
yeah.
secret strip club.
table for one, my face, please. But, so I start peeing in the toilet, and I'm like, how am I supposed to make this guy not think I'm watching him pee because I'm weird? So I start peeing in the toilet obnoxiously loud as like you know how if you pee in the center of a toilet it gets so much louder?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a gentle stream going so it lasts as long as it can. He starts peeing before me. I'm doing that pee, getting it straight in the toilet, going gently so it lasts forever. I finish. He's not fucking done yet. So I'm literally just sitting there like acting like I'm just flinking my dink trying to get the pee off. And I'm just like, my God, what is this man doing? And I guess he was disturbed because he didn't even wash his hands. He just went up and left. And I was like, oh, thank Christ. So I want to get some space between us, so I wash my hands longer than I need to. I sing happy birthday twice. So I wait, I get that, and me and Tab go up to order our food, and he's right in front of us. And I was like, oh. So, like, him and his
Did
wife...
you say hello to him?
No, I acted like I didn't see him, but him and his wife kept giving me dirty glances, and like they got their food and sat down. We got our food. Tab spilled.
You sat down right next to him.
No, we got our food. Tab spilled absolutely all of our fries, made a fiasco of it, and then we had to come back, sit down, and we look over. They look over at us for like a couple seconds, and they just get up and leave. And that is the story of me in New Jersey.
I think the best. You should have just like stared at him, right in his eyes.
It was
I was staring at him, just not at his eyes. Dick joke. Looking at his balls.
Yeah.
There you go.
At the balls.
The balls.
Bulls.
The corners.
Bulls.
So you shit yourself or something?
In front of the Sheets family.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
jeez.
you guys want to hear that story or whenever I shot myself twice in one day?
I said both, man.
Okay. Well, actually, in college, we had to write a narrative, and I wrote a narrative about me shitting myself in front of the Sheets family.
Did you
Would
get
you
an A?
like? I got a 96 on it.
Nice.
Do you guys want me to tell it off the top of my head or read from that?
Read from what?
Wait, oh, no,
Oh.
just off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought you brought it with you.
Yeah, well, it's on my
Yeah.
docs. So it's on my phone.
On his phone.
Do make sure you get that.
All right. But what happened was we were in probably what was it 6th grade? We say somewhere around there.
Mhm.
Okay. My aunt Stephanie, she's really high up in the Sheets ladder, and they do all these like lottery ticket kind of things. And she won this one. The grand prize was she got box seats with Mr. and Mrs. Sheets and a shit ton of tickets, so she could bring her family and ours.
Was that in the skybox at the curve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and Bub, we go there, and I don't know if you guys heard this yet, but whenever we were younger, we were fat as fuck. Like, we were walking chodes, short and fat. And we got there, and the Sheets family, very generous, very nice people, they wheel out carts of food. But we're fat, and we know the rules of a fat person. It's not generosity, it's a challenge. So they throw down the glove, we throw down the gauntlet, and we say, let's fucking dance. We start shoveling down everything we can. I hate salads. We ate the salads. They had some burnt-ass fries. Ate those burnt-ass fries. We had some nachos with and without cheese. We had burgers, hot dogs, popcorn. All of it. You just kept shoveling it in. I couldn't even taste anymore. It was just going in for the sake of it.
Yeah. Now you're doing it.
I was doing it for, well, you're not done eating when you're full. You're done eating when you hate yourself.
When the meal's over.
But,
When they stop bringing it out.
yeah. Well, we want to make sure that we ate.
When they say to you, it's not an all you can eat, it's not a you eat all, that's when you know you're done.
Yeah, we wanted to get there. So we're doing this. We're probably about, I don't know, half hour in maybe. We took down about 2 carts. Like we put in all the work that we could.
2 full carts?
Yeah, like I said, we shoveled it in. I couldn't even taste it. It just went in. But
Wow.
so we just kept shoveling it in, and half hour in, finished 2 carts. It all hits me at once. It's not like, ooh, I think I might have to poo here soon. It was like, we gotta do this now. So, I haul ass, trucking as fast as I can, the 10 feet a second. But I go as fast as I can. I run probably halfway to the bathroom, and I stop and I realize oh shit, Mom's really protective of me. If I just disappear up out of nowhere, she might worry. See, I had a heart just as soft as my fat. And I was like, I can't let that poor woman worry over me. So I truck back on over, open up the door, and most people say, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. Mine just came out, Mom, I'm going to the bathroom. Slam it. Didn't have time for anything. Ran into the bathroom, went to the first stall that I could. Immediately, as soon as I stepped in, turned around, locked the door, didn't even look around because, I want my privacy first. And I look and I see there's piss everywhere. Like, there's piss on the walls, it's on the floor, it was on the seat, it was just everywhere. You remember that scene in Daddy Daycare?
Yeah.
It was like that. And I was like, oh shit, I'm too fucking fat and stubby to try to hover poo. I'll just fall in the piss. I can't do that. I don't have enough time for a proper bird nest. So I was like, all right, we just gotta go to another stall. At this point, I felt like Michael J. Fox, with my hands shaking all about. And I'm sitting there trying to undo the lock, and I'm just like, oh, please, please, please. Undo it. Get halfway to the second one. It all fucking comes out. All of it at once. People say that their ass explodes. Mine seriously went, halfway up my back. It was like there was a real fucking terror. And people say, oh, man, my underwear was ruined. I didn't even have to see that shit to know that it was getting thrown out. The real issue was the fact that we had to throw out my socks, too, because those were also beyond repair. It was in my shoes, in my socks, down my legs, up my back, around the corner.
He also had probably 2 or 3 quarters worth of shit fall into the toilet. The rest was on him.
So what
or
happened?
beside me.
So finish the story. What
Yes.
happened with the?
All right. As I said, in school, I was a very smart man. I always got 90s. So I did the best thing that I could think of. Sat on the shitter, cleaned my legs, and hoped for a miracle. That was all that I could do. But
I was sitting there. Whenever I say clean myself, I mean I was just taking some toilet paper and just wiping on my legs. It was like, well, if it's not wiping an asshole, I guess it's still gonna just wipe shit off anyway. So I cleaned that off, and I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? And I was like, oh, someone please fucking help. Dad comes in. And he's like, hey, buddy, what's up? Oh, what's that smell? I was like, Dad, get in here. He's like, all right, fine. So I unlock it, and he comes in, and he's just like, Jesus Christ, Caleb. I was like, I'm sorry. All right, but right now we have bigger fish to fry. Help me solve this. So we hatched a plan where we throw out my underwear and my socks, and he would use the little hand sink they had in the corner to wash my pants. We throw that on and call it good enough. So he cleans that, throws it all out. I put it on, like, oh man, my left leg feels pretty normal, but my right one feels a little weird. And I was like, oh well, fuck it, whatever. So we get out and we start walking, and I see Diesel Dog, one of the curved mascots. And I think,
Asshole.
this is what my thought process works as. Holy shit, that's Diesel Dog. I'm a 6th grader. As a elementary school student, I'm required to get this anthropomorphic dog's fucking signature. So I'm like, what do I do? What is he gonna autograph? Take off my left shoe, and a little gobble of ass icing falls out. And I just look and I'm like, what? I look at Dad, I'm like, what? Look at the turd, what? Look at Dad, I was like, Dad, did you clean my pants? And he was like, yeah, well, I cleaned the right leg. I was like, Dad, what the fuck? Why did you not clean both legs? And then I realized in that moment, whenever I said my left leg felt normal, my right one felt weird. My right one felt weird because it was actually clean and all completely wet. My left one felt normal because I was used to shit being on my legs since I was stuck like that for a while. And he was like, I don't know, I thought you just needed me to clean the right one. And I was like, Dad, no, that's not how it works. You saw the poo. So we go back. I have to re-clean off my leg. He re-washes it, and then he gets both legs. I'm very proud of him for doing that. And
did you just leave the poo there? What?
Yeah, I wasn't dealing with that shit. I left the nugget. I'll admit it.
No pun intended.
Pun fully intended. But no, I went there to have fun, and I just felt really attacked. I didn't have time to worry about that shit on the floor, dude.
Did you eat more food when we got back?
Actually, what happened was I just went in, we talked for a little bit. I smelled like shit. He thought I just kept farting, and we were like, oh, that's a cover story, I guess. So we did that for a little bit. Then we went home. I got changed. I put on some sweatpants, and I forgot to go to the bathroom before I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and realized I pissed myself. So I was so fucking angry. I was so pissed off that I was pissed on. That seriously, this is what I did in 6th grade. I took off my pants, punched my bunk bed, and then I just threw my pants under the fucking bed in like a fit of rage. Didn't get it for another 2 weeks.
Please keep in mind, all of this happened in front of the Sheets family, and we've never been invited to another Sheets event since.
Really? They're
Yeah.
super against you now?
I mean,
Like, that's it? Or
I
you
mean,
just never won a grand prize again?
that's the only time they've really ever met me and my brother, and it was me farting a lot. One of my biggest farts I've ever had, and constantly farting out on the patio, and my brother shitting himself, and then having Duke in his shoe.
We know how to party.
Wait, where was the nugget dropped?
Just in the hallway. Just in the
Of the box office?
No.
Not box office,
No,
but
like-
up in the box?
Of where everyone
The,
walks.
Like, the hallway
okay.
the hallway between like one of the boxes and the bathroom. Like we were coming out of the bathroom when we saw these.
All right. Wow.
I'm surprised they don't have bathrooms in those boxes.
Yeah, that would have been a lot. That would have been
That's
really
what I was
helpful.
thinking, like you just dropped the nugget right in front of the Sheets family.
Just leave them a message.
Everyone just thinks you're a juggalo.
You're the phantom shitter. Yeah, you've been shitting in your pants and dropping it off.
Did you shit the urinal? Did you shit the urinal?
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You had another one?
Yeah. Like I said, that took place in 6th grade. This one takes place in 9th grade.
No, it takes place in 10th grade.
10th grade? Fucking close enough. It's all the same.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, right?
He's just another year older, so it's that much worse.
But, what happened
That's a
was-
logarithmic equation.
I mathematically mapped out how worse it is, the fact that he shat himself in 10th grade.
Actually, it's a
rather than
perfect bell curve.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right up.
But what happened was, Bub, he was really sick. Like, I don't know if he had a stomach flu or what, but he was out on the couch out of school for days. He was fucking bad. And, of course, because we lived together, I fucking got it. But I thought, I'm not going to be a pussy and lay on the couch about it. I have a day off school, damn it. I'm going to live it to the fullest. So I got a bucket to puke in, and then I just put on Call of Duty Black Ops and start playing zombies. And I would just, like, be shooting zombies, just be like, oh, I'm going to vomit. And I just get back to playing. It was a really good system. And I was sitting there, and I was just in my PJs, and I was like, I'm going to fart. This is going to be awesome. Like, I wiggle around a little bit. I was like, that wasn't a fart. So, I had this Hank Hill underwear. I loved it so much. Had to throw that out. And then I showered, and then I just decided, you know what, if I ever feel like I'm going to fart, I'm just going to go sit on the toilet. Every time I farted, went and sat on the toilet, fucking shit came out at first. It got to the point where it started just turning to poo water. When I say poo water, I don't mean a watery brown poo. I mean, it was seriously completely transparent.
Like sludge.
No. It looked just like water. Like it was just like
that
this.
mucusy shit.
Don't touch my water bottle with your poo hands.
That was the only difference between that and normal water.
Yeah, he hasn't showered since the shit instant either.
That's the impression I'm under. So.
But so that happens, and whenever I got a shower, all I did was just throw on a shirt and some underwear. I didn't even care to look for pants.
In the shower, you threw on the pants and underwear?
Of course.
Yeah,
As one does.
But after I got all that situated, I was like, all right, well, then I guess we're just going to kick back and relax for a little bit. I put on Red Hot Chili Peppers, started playing Lego Batman 2.
I think the Red Hot Chili Peppers was a bad idea.
Well, here's the thing about it. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It's a bad omen.
Felt like he was shitting them out.
Oh, it didn't burn anymore. My asshole was raw. But either way, I was just laying down, listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers, playing Lego Batman 2, not wearing pants. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. It's the most relaxing thing.
Yeah, like, that's all I do at college.
I was so relaxed and like everything was good in the world. I was like, the Holocaust was that shit. Nah, dude, nothing bad ever happened. What are you talking about? Nah. Sandy Hook, is that a fun game? What are we talking about? What is that? So, everything just melted away. All of life's problems. And I was like, oh shit, I'm sitting here playing Lego Batman 2 and I got a fart. Damn it! Like, I forgot completely about having to sit on the toilet. And so poo water came out. And again, I'm a very fast thinker. I do everything that I can, like, bam, split-second decision. It's a well-thought-out plan, always. So, with that, I use my expertise and do the first thing that I can. Grab my phone and call my mother. I call her like, Mom, I'm disappointed in myself. And she got real stern. She didn't know what was happening. She's like, what did you do? I was like, I pooped myself again. Again, let's not argue the details. Just come here and help me. She had to come up and basically guide me.
She was in the house?
Yeah, she was just downstairs. I didn't want to scream for her. I mean, I had a phone, dude. So she came
Use
up.
technology.
Yeah, exactly. 21st century.
We are not cavemen.
Which is funny because people call me Caveman. That is my nickname.
Honestly,
are you Ringo Starr too?
Honestly, it's a tragedy that we aren't technologically advanced where you can shit yourself and have something else clean it up for you.
Or you don't shit at all and you just think about it and it just goes away.
Yeah.
That same theory is why I haven't shat for 2 days.
Nice.
But she had to come up and she had to guide me on how to, like, grab my underwear and scrunch it up enough that way none of the water would come loose. I had to do like a little tuck and roll off the bed and tiptoe into the bathroom. And there weren't any sheets on my bed, so the poo water that did get out was just right on the mattress. So while I was showering, I had to hear the screams of my mother gagging as she scrubs away poo water.
Now, I came home when this first happened, so I heard some of it. I walked through the door, and like, have you guys ever had house construction and you can tell something is big going on in your house just by the feel of it? It has kind of a different aura.
Yeah.
So I walk in there, I'm like, what's going on? And then I hear, oh my God! I walk into hearing my mom gagging as she's trying to sponge clean a mattress that even God has forsaken.
Oh, man.
You guys lived a fascinating life, didn't you?
You know what's weird? People say that, but all we really do is sit on our bed and play games all day.
Yeah, but you have stories like that.
Yeah,
I don't
weird
have
fun.
sitting in front
Weird
of the
stuff
Sheets
just happens.
family stories.
I don't know how. I just accidentally find myself in these weird situations. Like I remember this
Like having
one-
sex on top of your friend.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean for that to happen. I almost got arrested once for breaking and entering to a house because I didn't do anything. I was sitting on the porch of a house that my friend owned. He just moved out of, and we were gonna go there to stay the night.
Oh.
And because he was black, the neighbors called on him thinking he was bringing it into the house. That was a good time. And then I don't know. There's just a lot of weird stuff. Like almost got arrested on St. Patty's Day because fireworks went wrong. Things like that. It's just
Oh man, should we tell that story?
When was this?
9th grade.
Okay.
Would you like to hear this story?
Yes. We want to hear all the stories.
Debauchery.
So, I just want to make things clear now. I was not in this story. Friends of mine have this story. And they just told me about it. So these friends, who also happen to be twins, were hanging out.
Perfect.
So they too like to hang out a lot, and they were hanging out with 2 other people who will not be named for obvious reasons. And they looked at one of their friends and said, "Debauchery?" Look back at the other one, "Debauchery." So they start kind of chanting, "Debauchery, debauchery, debauchery." And they go into the closet of their one friend's house where there's just a bunch of illegal fireworks that are like the size of my arm. I'm very lanky, so that's kind of big. And they have this one that's like a mango. Like it was a mortar.
Like the
that was
size of a mango.
Yeah, it was like the size of a mango. And I looked at it, I was like, this needs to be lit off. So
No, you didn't
By
look at
he,
this.
he means
Yeah.
his one friend.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
from now on, I'm just going to be talking in the first point of view because it's much easier to tell the story and get more in depth with it, more emotion, rather than just the third party involved, because that always just kind of alienates them. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
feel you.
I was no part of
You're
the
telling
story.
the story in the perspective of the people who did
Yes,
this story.
I will be telling it from their perspective. So I, who's not really me, was like, we need to light this off somewhere. And we go up to this baseball field on St. Patty's night, which is a stupid idea because cops are everywhere looking for drunk drivers. This is
Yeah.
about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, where people are definitely already drunk, and some of them might be leaving because I don't know why. So we go up to this baseball field, we being myself not there, and we have this big mortar tube, and we find bricks, and we put bricks on the
Don't it
Yeah,
down.
brick and mortar,
yeah.
man.
But it was 9 o'clock at night. We didn't use flashlights, so it wasn't properly
Did you
stable.
put it in backwards?
No.
Oh. Have you ever done that?
Yes, I have. Well, I haven't. A friend of mine has. But
Is it the same friend you're telling this story from?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He too has a father that likes to party.
Oh, all right, and make strombolis and. fuck
Well,
people
I
and-
don't know if he likes strombolis. I'll have to
okay.
ask him. Hold on. Let me... Hey, you like strombolis?
Yeah, man.
Oh. I just got word that he too likes strombolis. So we go up to this baseball field. We put bricks on it. We think it's stabilized, and we put in the mango mortar, and we light it off, and we heard this big clank when it shot out. Like we heard the boom of it shooting out, then a clank, and we realized it broke the mortar tube in half because it wasn't properly stabilized. The impact shifted the tube, so it hit off the side of the tube, only went up like about half of how high it was supposed to go, and started exploding in the air. And I'm sure he felt like he was storming the beaches of Normandy. Like there was fire and rage and more fire all around. And like the embers of the fireworks were coming down, and they were still hot and charring the ground. Because like
Oh, wow.
yeah, the baseball field didn't catch on
Is that
fire.
what he told you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he said. explained to me in great detail. I almost felt like I was there, really.
Yeah.
Like that there was that it almost some places almost started catching fire on the baseball field, but for the most part, just big hunks of it were being charred by these hot embers of firework. So it only had like 3 or 4 booms in it, and as soon as those pops were over, all you heard were just a bunch of different police sirens. And I think he said he shat himself. I'm not sure if he meant literally or metaphorically, though. But, so, basically him and his friends had to find a way to maneuver with cops searching around for these guys to get back to the house without using main roads that the cops would be taking. So they were walking around for a couple hours, and they're like, hey guys, you want to make this bad situation worse?
Let's set off another one.
Of course, dude. What do you want to do? Let's go to the cemetery and set off tiny bottle rockets for no reason. All right, man. So they walk down to the cemetery, and they have these tiny little itty-bitty bottle rockets that are just like a little bit bigger than your middle finger, stick and all. And they're trying to tie like 4 or 5 of them together to light them all off at the same time. And like using a little flashlight on your phone to see how to tie them together properly. And every time a car comes down or something, they just like have to put the phone on the ground so no one sees the light to know people are there doing debaucherous deeds.
Because you're not even supposed to be in those cemeteries at night either.
Yeah.
Those people were really having some craziness that night.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they told you about this story.
Yeah, I wouldn't associate with them anymore. They're pretty crazy.
I was in a dark place when I talked to them. So that didn't work. They got tired and they just kind of threw the bottle rockets on the ground. And they finally started walking back the long way around to the other man's house. They started trying to make it home around 8. And when they were walking, they were close to getting home. Then they realized no one grabbed the bag of illegal fireworks they had. There was just a big bag sitting on the hill with a busted mortar tube on the charred grass of a baseball field that I'm sure no one uses anymore. And they had to go back up, grab it, come back down, and walk home. By the time they got home, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and that was a doozy. I also heard they made an entire gallon of Kool-Aid, which is pretty cool.
What flavor?
Everyone won that day.
I'm not sure, but I know they used the bathtub to fill it up because it didn't fit in the sink.
Nice.
Those guys were crazy, man. I should talk to them again sometime.
Yeah, we should have him on the show actually.
Yeah, we totally should. I'm into that.
Hey, you want to be on the show? Yeah, man. Sweet. Guys, I confirmed they would like to be on the show.
Sweet. Oh man, you guys are awesome.
Dude, thanks, man. I've been waiting for you to say that this entire
I have
time.
to say though, that's a pretty weird way to pronounce stupid.